Games are pretty fun. Big shocker. I may like them for multiple reasons. It could be the gameplay, the thrill of getting a high score, or just having a pretty good story. Now how do I not like a game? By putting Gacha inside it. Gacha, Microsoft Word's biggest nightmare, generally makes the games worse. For me at least. These types of systems have made games that would be incredibly fun and well designed if they were like $10 to $80 titles into grindy games which always just want to steal your wallet and overall just makes the experience weaker. Sometimes they just straight up ruin systems which weren't originally designed around the games. This has happened to me a lot recently with a certain game, so I want to vent my frustrations. I will be covering 3 Asterix games that have this type of system, Asterix. From the one that annoys me the least to the one that annoys me the most. The 3 games are video game TCGs such as Hearthstone, which I'm not going to be talking about, Matchland, a mobile game you may or may not have heard of before, and Project Sekai, or as it's known in the West, Hatsune Miku Colorful Stage. Also, I know only one of these games are technically a gacha game, but I mean, loot boxes / card packs are pretty much the same thing. The Wikipedia articles for gacha and loot boxes literally have the same image, so they count. Anyway, card battlers, which are arguably the most offensive games that use gacha-like systems. The 2 card battlers I've played more than 3 games in are Bloons Card Storms and PvZ Heroes. In both the games, the main thing the game revolves around is buying card packs with in-game currency, which you can also purchase for real money, with better cards being rarer and needing you to open more packs to actually get them. The main thing which makes this the least offensive is the fact that I can't really see how either of these games would work without these systems. Like they could, but in a weird way it would make the game significantly weaker. Part of the fun of these games is the deck building portion, which would be a lot less fun if you had every card in the world available at once. If it was that easy to do, people would find optimal decks to use and stick to them pretty religiously, more than they probably already do. It'd probably cause most games to feel incredibly similar because everyone's just using the same thing. This is what seems to happen in the BTT Battles games where most people use incredibly similar strategies. For me personally, it's fun for a little while, but it's difficult to force myself to try other strange strategies that may not work. It would also be very overwhelming for new players if after the tutorial you had every card to use in your deck while being inexperienced with the game. I already get overwhelmed by these games early on by the deck building due to the amount of cards and not really having much of a frame of reference for good synergies through the experience, or even what cards are good or bad. Most of my knowledge of good synergies in Bloons Card Storms only came after I had properly played the game more. Another thing which benefits a lot of these games is that it still feels relatively balanced. Most battles I do in these games, I don't feel like I lost because I had paid the least amount of money to EA. Also, a side note, why has PvZ Heroes been getting some balance changes recently? Like, Wintermelon didn't used to freeze a target on place. It's just really odd considering the game was basically abandoned for a while. These games also have really good pity systems, especially in PvZ Heroes case. In the game, you can have a maximum of 4 cards in your deck, so if you get more, you're able to trade them for sparks, which allows you to craft other cards. While I believe they could lower the cost of building a lot of these cards or up the amount of sparks you get for recycling, it's still a really good system which helps it feel less predatory and makes it easier for free-to-play players to actually get the cards they want, especially since you do have the option to recycle cards you already have even if you don't have 4 of them. Overall, this is the only type of game that may actually benefit from it totally not gambling. It's hard for me to personally see how these games could possibly work without it while maintaining the enjoyment I get from them. As long as they stay balanced and attempt to prevent it from being too pay to win, it should remain pretty okay. Even then, arguably PvZ Heroes and Bloons Card Storms are better than the real life counterpart due to how much you need to spend on like the Pokemon TCG to make a working deck. The second game I wanted to discuss, which is a lot less excusable, Matchland, a game you've probably never heard of before. Also, wow, such a unique name, whoa. It's a match 3 RPG where each level requires you to beat a certain amount of enemies in 3 to 6 different rooms / areas. Shocker, it's pretty fun. The main thing I really like about it is its unique gimmick for matching the tiles. After you've matched a tile, a timer starts where you can keep matching tiles together or extend already created matches to become longer. Every tile you match, the time limit increases and your damage multiplier increases. This state stops when either the time runs out or you just fail to match tiles together. It's such a satisfying thing to pull off, especially when you get a big chain or it causes a big reaction. It's like a casino without wasting money, especially with the multiplier increase sound effect is just so nice and appealing. Now the actual casino bits suck a lot. The game is an RPG with gacha mechanics. To get better characters and to power up the characters you need to pull them out of loot boxes. You see my issue here? This can cause serious progression blocking, which is just frustrating. My characters for the longest time have been unable to level up because they've hit their level cap and I've been stuck with the same 5 guys for who knows how long. I have no idea because I've only played this game like once a millennium now. Now the system wouldn't be as cruel if you weren't required to get multiple of these figures to actually unlock the heroes. Yeah, and also, the higher the rating the figure, the more you actually need to unlock the character. This is insanely awful. The entire system makes this game so much worse. Also, due to the fact it's a mobile game, it causes it to have other mobile game systems to try and make you spend money. It has limited energy, so you can't play the game as much as you want. You have required rating for rewards. Actually, let's explain how this shop works, because it really bores my insides and adds on to the gacha elements being more predatory. So, the enemies you fight during the levels can be created into food, which you sell for money. The food you create takes time to actually sell. Then after you sold 5 times, you get Evo eggs, which are used to evolve your heroes, which basically makes them so they can get an additional 20 levels. You can upgrade these stores to produce more eggs through getting other materials by beating certain levels. The fact it takes so long to evolve heroes through the regular method makes you more inclined to spend money to either speed up the process or make the shops produce more eggs. The gacha to get a better hero with more stars, or grind. These options suck. This game is so grindy due to the systems in place, it makes it so much less fun. I really wish this was just like a $10 title in the Apple App Store. The main gameplay loop is fun and probably the best match 3 system in any game I've played, but the ingredients around it just create a foul mixture in the end. The gacha mechanics being so heartless what mainly hurts me, because it's so incredibly difficult to actually save up to get a single chest, let alone multiple. Now the final game, which is arguably the worst out of all these, but is also somehow nearly one of the best in the same respect. Project Sekai, which will be arguably also known as Hatsune Miku. Colorful Stage. Yeah, I play this game. A friend enjoyed it, and since it was one of her favorite games, I had a vague interest in it. I decided to download it. Not before being confused because, well, she abbreviated it to PJSK, and in English, it's the Colorful Stage thing. Anyway, this gacha straight up just ruins the scoring system. Oh wait, you don't even know what this game is yet, gameplay-wise. This game is a rhythm game, which is pretty fun, I'll admit it. I don't play too many songs because I'm not a big Vocaloid fan, which is the main type of music on offer. I play like 3 songs. I usually play the version sung by
the characters,
well, not Miku or someone. Anyway, the scoring system is completely reliant on what characters you have pulled in the star rating level. Characters have a certain star rating, and the higher level they are, the better your score will be as you play a song. So you can full combo a song and still only get C rank. That is so unbelievably stupid to me. Scoring is like one of the most important things in a rhythm game. A high score is literally how I'd compare myself to others before being able to obtain a full combo if I actually had friends who played the rhythm games I like, which I pretty much never can. And that's assuming I can actually get a full combo. I never can. So to me, the scoring system is an important way to track improvement. This is no longer possible when the scoring is relied around pretty much gambling. While the combo system is fully intact and in fact the game rewards you for maintaining a high combo, it still removes one of the major parts of scorekeeping. For an example, let's say we make a Tetris gacha game where you need to pull random artifacts to improve your score. The rarer the artifact, the higher the score multiplier. That sounds stupid, right? The primary scoring system people use for Tetris is a scoring system. That made sense in my head. While lines clear are used sometimes, the main focus is on the scoring. By doing this, you've pretty much ruined a major part of competition, whether it be professional or just with friends. This is what I feel Project Sekai does. This gacha is also the worst one I've seen in any of these games. It has so many promotions when doing it. It's like, oh hey, you should gamble away on this gacha. And also every single one that free people pay for and can use is limited time. Why couldn't it be just like at least one which is in a rotation? That would be nice. Also, why are there gachas that you have to pay for and you can't do for free? What? I genuinely don't understand that condition. It's so weird. They also make it so that paid and free gems are separated and you need less paid gems to pull the same gacha. I'm sorry, what? If there was one basic gacha that never left, it would help cause less of a FOMO effect, which could cause people to really want to spend money on one. The Easter eggs don't work on me because I don't really care about any of these characters enough to want a specific thing from them, but it really preys on the power spenders with how often this happens. Despite the fact that these are all teenagers, so that makes the power spenders potentially hella creepy. It's also the least intrusive due to the fact that, aside from scoring, it literally does not affect the main gameplay, like, at all. You aren't blocked from higher difficulties because you don't have a rare character or you aren't a high enough level, or primary story content isn't blocked behind what characters you have. You can do all difficulties of a song you have unlocked with no problem at all as long as you actually have the skill. So it's weird. I'm not sure how to feel about the gacha in this game. Well, I mean, relatively. I still hate that it's there, especially since it's so relatively inoffensive. It is nowhere near as mandatory of a feature compared to the other games I've covered. However, it ruins a core part of the game, which makes it less replayable and is the most in your face about you trying to get you to spend money. So I don't know. Before I'd get to my final points, I'd like to quickly clarify that some gacha systems when microtransactions aren't available are debatable. In something like AstroBot, I believe it's okay because it's for non-required collectibles and you can't get repeats, so it's okay there. I really wish these games didn't have gacha-like mechanics. I also wish even more games that exist didn't have these mechanics in them at all. I'm gonna have a stroke if I say that full name. From the little I've seen, looks really good visually and apparently has a good story. And obviously has a lot of talent poured into it, but the apparent grinding in the gacha never makes me want to touch it. It'd be so much better if it was just like an $80 release and could focus on having proper progression. It would be so much better and help some people like me appreciate the world they've crafted more truly. They'd be able to actually have a complete story due to the fact that with these games, since they need a spoiler as long as possible, well, the end is never the end is never the end is never. I'm personally hating myself for getting interested in that last game's story, because I know there'll never be a proper conclusion to it. There'll be small conclusions that will leave the story open for way more possibilities, but there'll never be one true conclusion.